A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, May 12. Attorney General Dale Marshall breaks his silence on the recent controversial appointment of a second Deputy Police Commissioner. In a statement today, he acknowledged that the post was in contravention of the Police Act, an issue which was publicly raised by opposition Senator Caswell Franklin. The Act makes provision for the appointment of a commissioner, a deputy commissioner, and assistant commissioners. Marshall explained that the post of a second Deputy Police Commissioner had been created since May 19 last year, when Oral Williams was appointed to act and confirmed on March 15 this year by the Protective Services Commission. However, the required changes to the Police Act were not made. The AG said that the Police Act only speaks to a single Deputy Commissioner of Police, and it is therefore to be regretted that the required amendment did not take place in advance of his confirmation. He, however, assured Barbadians that as soon as Parliament resumes sittings, the necessary amendment will be made to the Police Act. The AG also said that the creation of the new post is part of steps to bring the Royal Barbados Police Force in line with modern police management structures, and Williams is well qualified for the job. In other news this Monday, COVID-19 infections in Barbados inched up by 1 today. A 31-year-old is the latest case being investigated by the Ministry of Health, the only positive result among 177 returned by the Best de Santos Public Health Laboratory yesterday. He has no recent travel history, nor can he be linked to any known contacts. There are now 85 cases of COVID-19, 44 females and 41 males. The number of people in isolation moves to 21, while the number of recovered persons remains at 57. There have been 7 deaths. Meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Anton Best revealed there are 4 COVID-19 cases under investigation. He was speaking on Starcom Network's Down to Brass Tacks.
We do have a handful that are being investigated, but at this point, we have at the very least a plausible epidemiologic link to explain how those persons would have acquired COVID-19. So we don't have any case that's not accounted for. But appreciate that the contact tracing process, and in some cases it can take a few hours, and in some cases it can take many weeks. So we're constantly investigating, and many times we don't make a conclusion until we have absolutely all the facts, until we have exhausted all the possibilities.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Cynthia Ford today urged Barbadians to treat the workers of the National Assistance Board with dignity and respect. Her call comes as the workers exited quarantine for COVID-19 with a clean bill of health. Workers who tested negative for the illness returned to work today, while the staff members who tested positive remain on sick leave. 6 of them have been released from isolation after 2 consecutive negative tests. Barbados' milk production is in for a major boost with the importation of 159 pregnant heifers from the United States. The cows, which are part of a multi-million-dollar project between the Barbados Agricultural Society and the Barbados Beef and Dairy Producers Association, with help from the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, arrive at the Grantley Adams International Airport today. The animals, which arrived on 2 flights, were imported from Strickland Ranch and Export Inc. They were checked by vets and have gone into quarantine. BAS Chief Executive Officer James Paul told reporters it's an important move to boost the country's milk production.
We are making a lot of effort to try to improve milk production generally in Barbados. I also want to, again, thank all the players who have made this a success. But most especially, I want to thank the Ministry of Agriculture for assisting us in expediting the process of getting these cows here, because without their cooperation, it would not have been able to happen. We have the Minister here this morning who actually has played a very facilitative role in terms of making this happen. We are trying to improve milk production generally in Barbados. We know that the current levels of milk production are not where it should be, and we within the BAS are making a special effort to see if we can work with the farmers to improve on that milk production. The last one that we did jointly was in 2016, and this is another one that we're doing now in 2020. We always recognize that it's very, to get an increase takes over 2 years to get cows up to where it should be. And we are hoping, of course, that with this overall 159 animals will be coming in today. We are hoping, of course, to see as a result of that a significant increase in milk production.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene in Trinidad and Tobago, citizens have abandoned home-cooked meals for restaurants and street food following government's easing of COVID-19 restriction. TV6 News visited some restaurants where owners said they're getting used to the new normal.
Hassan Gyros is one of the establishments open today, but it's not business as usual, as the COVID-19 restrictions have had quite an impact in various ways, one of which relates to staff in terms of capacity and routine functions. Business owner Hassan Laila describes the reopening experience as similar to starting up a new business, but he anticipates in a few days operations should begin to normalize to some level. They're having a problem getting back into their routine?
Yeah, for the last 5 weeks we close. They got a routine, right? Which they sleep in late, waking up late. I don't know what their routine was. Now when they come back out to work, they have to come out early, right? Plus, like, they're not accustomed, like for 5 weeks they did not work. So the first day gonna be a little hard, second day better. So 2-3 days everything will be back in place.
What has been the challenges, or what have been the challenges in sourcing what you do need?
The only thing still missing is the vegetable because the market are closed. Yesterday I went, it was closed after lunch, and today I went this morning, it closed. That is the only thing, like, it's hard to get.
Where it concerns sales, Lila isn't expecting the business to function as it did pre-COVID for a while, as a large fraction of his customers are those who engage in the nightlife.
On the international front, gunmen disguised as police attacked a hospital in the Afghan capital Kabul on Tuesday, killing 16 people, including 2 newborn babies, from a maternity clinic run by the international humanitarian organization Doctors Without Borders. More in this report from Reuters Television.
More than a dozen people, including 2 newborn babies, have been killed after gunmen attacked a hospital in the Afghan capital Kabul on Tuesday. The 100-bed government-run hospital houses a maternity clinic run by humanitarian organisation Doctors Without Borders. Interior and Health Ministry officials said mothers, nurses and children were among the dead and wounded. This eyewitness said a man wearing a police uniform arrived and started shooting at guards and women at the hospital entrance. In a separate attack the same day, a suicide bomber struck the funeral of a police commander in the eastern province of Nangarhar, killing at least 24 people and injuring 68. Authorities said that toll could rise. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for either attack. The Taliban has denied any involvement in both.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.